the men looked ahead in horror, rushed to bury his head in the water, held his breath and did not dare to move. Immediately after, a pair of huge feet appeared in front of the eyes. Under the feet of the sheep rushed to escape, who knew that the next moment was a big hand grabbed. At this time, buried in the water of the men still did not dare to move. The next second, in front of the horrific scene of the stunned, afraid of the man's mouth wide open in horror, hiding in the tree behind the companion after the breath of a sigh of relief, couldn't help but curiosity. He looked at the giant in disbelief. However, while he was looking at the giant seemed to sense his scent. Fearful, David rushed back to the tree. Then the giant took a big step forward. The men couldn't hold it in any longer, so he quickly came out of the water. The giant still found David behind the tree. The giant uprooted the entire tree. David felt bad and backed away from the tree. The two of them stared at each other for a long time. Then he remembered, turned around and ran away. The giant just stared at David was running fast. He didn't panic and let him run. Then he ran over to him. He slapped him and knocked him unconscious. He had never seen a human being before. The giant went up to him to have a closer look. When he grabbed David and was about to leave, the captain, who was eager to save the human being, rushed up to him with his sword. He stabbed his sword into the giant's ankle. The giant looked back in pain. The next time, he just kicked. The captain smashed into the stone and passed out. The next moment, the captain fell on a rock and fainted. Then the giant pulled the sword out of his foot. At this moment, both men were taken away by the giant. Jack could only look at his companion. He fell into the hands of the giant. The giant was very satisfied with his prey. He then turned around and left. Fearing that he would be discovered, Jack quickly went back to the water. The giant didn't notice him. He just passed him. The giant was far away. Jack quietly followed him, looking for an opportunity to save his companion. Meanwhile, the other three were on a cliff. Charlie pretended to see the princess, to attract his companion, and then pushed him off the cliff, so that he could do whatever he wanted. But just as they were about to succeed, a big hand grabbed the man, and shoved him into his mouth. Charlie was in a state of shock, and didn't realize that there was a much worse danger being behind him.